Oh, getting a bit of a squirter. Oh, right, pushed at that one. Can you give us an R?
Ahoy there, if you're new to the channel, I'm Heidi and I live aboard my narrowboat home, the Rum Wench, with my little dog Bonny. Join us as we travel the UK's canals and rivers in search of treasure and adventure.
At the moment, we have currently got low water levels in the docks due to third-party works, and we are trying our best to pump as much water as we can into it. So at the moment, as it stands, your passage still remains. However, there is a possibility that your passage could get cancelled tomorrow.
Good morning. The weather outside is awful today. I've just been outside and filled the boat with some diesel ready for this cruise into Liverpool. I've also checked my weed hatch. There wasn't much round it, thankfully. But today is the day that I cruise through the Liverpool Link, which is a wonderful experience because you go down a few locks and then you're going through all the docks in Liverpool and you've got all the waterfront there, the amazing buildings. So I really hope the weather picks up a little bit, because at the moment with it being so gloomy, it's just not going to show it. And I want you guys to feel what I'm feeling at the time. I've put little Bonny in a life jacket today because the water through the docks is quite deep. However, if you remember at the end of the last video, which was yesterday for me, I had this phone call from the Canal and River Trust explaining that the levels were really low due to some works happening in the area. So I know around the area of Sid's Ditch, it's really shallow. So we've just got to take our time through there and go slowly. I haven't had a message since to say that the levels are correct or it's still low. So we're just going to go for it. Anyway, I'm going to start the old girl up now and let's set off. Let's get into Liverpool.
So I was hoping that today the weather was going to be glorious so that I could show this Liverpool Link nice and bright at its finest. However, you know, British weather is bloody miserable.
Thankfully, this first part of the cruise is only about an hour, and that takes us to the 4 locks at Stanley Dock Junction, which we descend onto the Liverpool Link. And it makes a lovely change cruising with another boat, because for the past few weeks I've been cruising on my own and single-handing all those horrendous swing bridges, so this is a lovely change.
So this Liverpool Link connects the Leeds Liverpool Canal to the South Docks in Liverpool, and it was actually only built in 2009 because back in the 1800s there was another way of getting through, and that was via Stanley Dock to George's Dock. But unfortunately, when the canal stopped being used for industry, then they filled those in to build the Liver buildings and other buildings as well. But this Liverpool Link opened up in 2009 again, so that narrowboats and wide beams and that could travel the whole length of the Leeds Liverpool and end in the docks in Liverpool. Oh, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to doing this again. I did it a few years ago now, not done it for a while. So I'm really excited.
Very shortly we're going to be doing a right turn which takes us down the 4 locks towards Liverpool, and already we're seeing the iconic Liverbird logo, which I'll talk more about later, but this is the symbol of Liverpool.
I can't make my mind up what I'm wearing today. The thing is, that coat I just had on, it's brilliant, it's waterproof, but it's too warm. And this one is very light, it's waterproof, and I can move a lot better in it. So I thought I'd wear this one. And we're now at the locks that descend to go and do this Liverpool Link. And all the lockers are on and it's lovely. Well, the weather isn't, but the atmosphere is. You do need to book passage to do the Liverpool Link, and you do all that on the Canal and River Trust website. There's these 4 locks here, and then once you get closer to the docks, there's another 2 locks. We've just got these 4 locks now, and then we've got to head towards the clock tower. That's the Liverpool Link. And apparently we've got to keep the first set of buoys on our right and the second set of buoys on our left. And then we'll be going through something called Sid Stitch. And at the moment, that's very shallow. Oh, it's a load of fun. But I'm going to follow these. These know what they're doing. This lock gate's a bit of a squirter. Oh, right, pushed at that one. Got wet socks now. So that's the last lock done now, and the fellow there then is called Sid. And the ditch up here, it's a narrow cutting, it's quite shallow. It's extra shallow at the moment because there's not much water, but the ditch is named after him. And the reason it is called Sid's Ditch is because he was the first boat when they opened this in 2009 to go through it. Yeah, so I've actually met Sid from Sid's Ditch. Woohoo! And just through that archway there, our journey through the docks into Liverpool begins. This is just amazing. I just wish the weather was better. But we're heading now towards this clock tower. We've got it in our sights. It's beautiful. The clock tower's actual name is called the Victoria Tower, and it was constructed in 1847 and was often referred to as the Docker's Clock. And it was built as an aid to ships in the port as it allowed them to set the correct time as they sailed out into the Irish Sea. Its dinging bell was also used to warn of impending meteorological changes such as high tide and fog. Wow, look at it there, isn't it beautiful? There's just something really exciting, isn't there, about being in these big, wide, deep bits of water. I love it. I get a proper adrenaline rush. It just makes me want to laugh. But we're now approaching Sid's Ditch. So it's very tight and quite narrow and shallow. So I'm just going to go very slowly through here because it's shallow. I find with my boat, because it's got a big prop, the minute I give it some revs, she digs quite deep down. But if I just go very, very slowly, she stays quite shallow. So that's what I'm trying to do, because apparently Sid's Ditch is a good 2 foot down at the moment on water levels. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through now, and I'm staying focused to stay as much into the centre as I can. But you can see to the sides how much the water's dropped, and it is about 2 foot. But this is due to some building works that have gone on around the dock somewhere. But the lockers are doing their best to try and get water in here and to warn you, but it's out of their control. But we've nearly made it. We're nearly there. So I just went over something there. My boat proper leaned and it's gone back to normal now. Oh, thought I was going to get stuck then. But we're just coming up now to these buoys. Gotta keep them to the right. But we're doing it. It's working. And all thanks to those wonderful volunteers. Big red balls. So just ahead there now is the Liver building, and it has two sort of nipples that come to the top, and on the top of each nipple is a liver bird. And the liver bird is a sort of mystical creature. I don't know if it actually exists or it's gone extinct or something, but I think it's a made-up creature. But the way it looks has changed throughout time. Some people depicted it as a dove with a leaf in its mouth. Other people depicted it as seagulls and mythical creatures. But for me, it looks like a green cormorant. Yeah, smoking a cigarette. According to legend, the liver birds are a male and female pair, with the female looking out to sea to make sure that the seamen return home safely, and the male looking out across the city, watching over the seamen's families. Oh, isn't that a lovely story? We are now approaching the world famous Liverpool waterfront, and dominating this, or as some prefer keeping guard, are the Three Graces. And the beautiful Three Graces are also known as the Royal Liver Building, the Cunard Building and the Port of Liverpool. After being greeted by those beautiful Three Graces, there's now some awful modern building there on the left. I think it's a museum. However, there is some sunshine there in way of the lockkeeper Barry. He's going to take us now down this lock so we can cruise to our final destination, SaltHouse Dock. Just cruised through the Albert Dock and now we're in SaltHouse Dock, and I'm now looking for my berth. I've booked S18 and it's very difficult to see the numbers. I can see it. So you've got to move to get to it. And then it's definitely rum time. So we've just moored up here now on the pontoon, and then I've took my coat off, my hat off, and it's just nice to be free again. The sun's started to sort of shine. I'm hoping it gets a bit better than this for the week that I'm here. The volunteers all came down before. I was having a chat with them as well. Oh, and I love it. The vibe in this place is wonderful, and I've been told about some really nice independent coffee shops to go and visit whilst I'm here. I just can't wait. I can't wait to explore the Albert Dock and all the little quirky shops and that. So I've not long been moored here in SaltHouse Dock, and one of my patrons, David, has turned up today with some treats for Bonny and a bottle of gin for me, which is wonderful because today is gin and tonic weather.
It certainly is.
We're here with Barry. Barry's giving a big love to little Bonny. Oh. Everything about this place feels very nautical, and as well as the vibrant entertainment, the old-fashioned merry-go-round, the quirky street food vans, you could bump into a real mermaid or even a pirate.
It's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye.
Ah, can you give us an R?
As I was exploring the Albert Dock, everywhere I looked there was representations of the liver bird on coasters, on signs, and I found out about another story which I thought was wonderful, because you'll notice on the top of the building they're chained up, obviously to stop them blowing off and falling and killing someone. But this story says that the reason they're chained down is because if they were to fly away, the River Mersey would burst its banks and flood the city of Liverpool. So today I am on a boat because I got invited by this lovely lady called Penny to go off and do a bit of bird watching. I'm currently now on a boat on the Mersey. Right, heading towards the Irish Sea. It's not the type of birds I thought it would be. With all these people here with binoculars and big cameras and zoom lenses. But you're not one of them. You're not a serious one, though, are you? Are you?
Of course I am.
Are you?
Yeah, I've got my binoculars.
All right.
Very serious indeed.
Oh yeah. Just comfort boat ride.
I'm a fair weather birder.
Yeah. I've seen quite a lot of gulls today. What else have we seen?
Cormorants, little terns.
Little terns.
Terns, they might not have been little ones.
Yeah. I didn't see them ones. I haven't got binoculars. I've only got you. And we didn't have a zoom. But it's been a lovely day. We've had gorgeous weather. Got a bar. What more could you ask? We did go across the Mersey, but not the way that I'm going to be going on my narrowboat. We went the opposite way towards the Irish Sea, didn't we?
We did.
I
After spending a lovely few hours with Penny, it was then time to go off and explore the Albert Dock. One of the UK's most popular tourist attractions, the Albert Dock opened in 1846 by Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, hence the name, but it's also known as the gateway to the Atlantic. Some of these buildings used to be warehouses to store tea, silk, cotton, tobacco, ivory, sugar and even spirits. Now they have been converted into shops, bars and restaurants, galleries and museums, all relating to the wonderful history of Liverpool. And you can't talk about the history without mentioning the story of the band that changed the world, the Beatles. And you can go and embark on an incredible journey through time into the lives and music of them in their own dedicated museum here at the dock. There's even a statue here of one of the most famous stars in the history of British rock and roll, Billy Fury. Good afternoon. So whilst I'm still moored here in SaltHouse Dock, another boat's arrived and it's a hotel boat. Now often on my YouTube channel people say to me, Heidi, I'd love to experience narrowboating but I'm on my own so I can't hire because there's rules around hiring a narrowboat if you're single-handed. However, the other option if you can't do that is staying on a hotel boat, and these are brilliant because I think you rent like a little cabin in there and you can do as much or as little of the work on the locks and swing bridges and stuff as you want.
Hello, so I'm Neil. I run the Duke number 3 hotel boat. She's a 70-foot cruiser stern. We offer all-inclusive packages of 1-week holidays where we provide 3 meals a day with a 4-course dinner, an unlimited breakfast of your choice, a light lunch and an open bar.
An open bar, everybody. So I'd get my money worth at that, wouldn't I?
Our accommodation, we have 2 single cabins and a double cabin which is configurable to a twin, and all 3 cabins are fully en suite with their own toilet, shower and sink.
Got to talk now to Arthur, who's one of the guests on this boat, to tell us how it is from his experience.
This is going to be my second, maybe third time with Neil over the years. The last time I was with him, he had 2 narrowboats. This is my first time on this boat. I'm actually doing 2 trips with Neil. I'm going to Northwich with him, and then from Northwich to Cairngorm. And Neil is a great skipper and very informative, and it's a real pleasure to be on his boat.
There you have it, you see, another option, another way to get yourselves cruising our beautiful UK canals and rivers, hotel boats. But I don't think there's that many left now. I think there's only 2 narrowboats and maybe 1 wide beam. But I'm back at my boat now. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you because I know lots of people did message me saying that they couldn't hire because they were a single person. And this is one way of doing it. Stuart!
All the way from Cyprus, duty free.
Oh, and look at the weather here now as well.
The weather is awful.
Oh, and I'm going on the Mersey.
Enjoy it.
tell you what, it's a little bit blowy today. And I've come here because that there is the River Mersey. And tomorrow I'm going to be crossing that on my narrowboat. I'm going to be going sort of that way down the Mersey to Evesham Port, and then get off onto the Manchester Ship Canal, cruise down there up to Ellesmere Port, and then get onto the Shropshire Union Canal. That's the plan. I came down here a little bit earlier and the tide was out, and I've got to go high tide, which is 1 o'clock tomorrow, and I think it's a spring tide as well. Oh, I think there's 2 tides, neap and a spring, and I think I'm going on a spring tide at high tide. It's very complicated, but I do have a pilot with me. I've got Stuart Wood, who's famous along the waterways, a really good pilot, so I'm hoping everything's going to be all right. He's got a VHF radio, so he's going to be in contact with the port and the boats, I think. Yeah, it's them big boats that we've got to watch out for. Woo. But I've just thought I'd come down here and just see what it's all about, and yeah, and it's now made me absolutely crap myself for tomorrow. Woo. Hey, but fingers crossed I won't sink on the Mersey. Girl, Bonny. That's not a bad view, is it, out the window whilst I'm washing up? Look at that. £15 a night, this. Well, it's been a wonderful week, and we're going to end this with a classic black spiced Kraken. Just to the nipples though, because I'm crossing the River Mersey tomorrow. I've had the most amazing few days here in Liverpool, and I do hope the video shows everything that I've done. You know, on a boat ride, I went around the museums, around the Albert Dock, the shops. I met some wonderful people, some patrons came to see me. I met with my family, my friends. I just had the most awesome time. But tomorrow, I am leaving here and crossing the River Mersey. Ooh, gosh, what am I doing? So you're going to see that obviously in next week's video, and hopefully I haven't sunk or everything's good. Oh, but anyway, we're going to have a big cheers. I can only have a little one tonight because I am crossing the Mersey tomorrow. So it's just to the nipples. So cheers everyone. Woohoo! But again, this video is quite long, so I'm going to leave it here. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next one. I think there's going to be some bloopers here at the end, because I did a lot of cock-ups in this week. Yep, so that's it. So please take care, stay safe, and a huge thank you to my lovely, gorgeous patrons. And I've got a few new ones to read out, so a big thank you to Terry Geist, Kathy Bunch and Wendy and Luce. Thank you so much. So I've just moored myself up on this pontoon. I've took my coat up.
That would be the Irish Sea, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. So we went across the Mersey, but not the way I'm going to be going. We went. Oh, I'm just talking now. I won't do that one.